Hi book lovers, welcome back to my channel. I am super excited about today's video because as you can tell, I'm with Krista Becca Ritchie right now. They're an author duo that I have read so many of their books. They've written so many of my favorite books and series like the Addicted series. I have the Calloway Sisters series here as well. Oh my gosh, the Leica series, and also I think it's called the Circus's Family series now, but back then I loved it as Ariel Ethereal. So welcome, Krista and Becca. Super glad to have you on my channel. Did you guys want to introduce yourselves a little bit, share who you guys are?
Yes, thank you so much for having us. We're so excited. We've been fans of you for so long. So the fact that, we instantly recognized you. And so we were really, really happy that we could come on.
Yes. And I'm Krista, for those that don't know, between the two of us.
Yeah, I'm Becca.
And it's funny because we're not really sitting in the order of our names. I could have just pretended to be you, maybe.
I just tripped the entire audience out.
Yeah.
I feel like some people definitely can tell us apart. We're not that hard to tell apart. As we've gotten older, we look less and less alike.
For sure.
Although recently I was like, Krista, we went out to eat, and the waitress didn't even think that we were sisters. And I was like, Krista, we've lost our twin. It's over. The day has come. No one's gonna ask us if we're twins anymore. And then
that's crazy.
We went to Vegas, and literally every single person asked us, "Are you guys twins?" So I was like, "Okay."
We got asked more times in Vegas than we did all of last year. It was insane. Every single time we took a step, we were asked.
And we accidentally kept wearing the same color. We would wake up and then get ready and then look at each other, and we would be like, "Why are you wearing forest green? I'm wearing forest green." And we just were like, you know what? We're embracing the twinness in Vegas, and we were delightfully happy that we hadn't lost it.
Yeah, I don't know if that was introducing ourselves, but we went there. We're the authors of the Addicted series. I feel like that's the general introduction.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you're known for. Which it's fine too. But that's so weird. Does Vegas not see twins or something?
I don't know.
Sometimes it's really intense. The amount of times we get asked, and it was so intense that our cousin that was there with us, and her cousin kind of looks like us, and she was at a blackjack table, and me and Krista were just walking around the casino, and they were talking about us at the blackjack table, and they were like, "Do you think they're twins?" This is what our cousin told us later, and she was sitting there
they're literally
my cousin.
Yeah, they're our cousin was they're literally staring at you guys, trying to determine if you're twins. Just these random people at the blackjack table. I'm like, well, I guess Vegas has never seen twins before. That's the only thing we could think of.
Let's see. With the Misfits Like Us book, do you guys know how many books you've written so far? Do you keep count at all?
I think it's so hard now because we've done collector's editions. It's hard
so how do you count
to determine does that equal another book, even though 90% of it is content from other books.
I think Fearless Like Us was number 27.
Yeah,
at that point. But I think
we're at
28. We should recount them because we should. Did we miss 30?
No, we haven't hit 30 yet. 100%.
We need to do a big celebration.
Yeah, we definitely need to do a recount. Any opportunity to celebrate, I'm there for.
Oh yeah,
that'll be your new introduction. Twin duos of almost 30 books.
Almost 30, not quite 30.
Almost,
but not quite 30.
Nearly there.
Nearly there to 30.
Okay, so you guys got picked up at Berkeley, which is so exciting. I'm congratulations. I'm so happy for you guys. And you've been re-releasing all the Addicted series, and now with the Calloway Sisters series, and I know you'll have a new book with them coming out either later this year or next year. So you have a bunch of exciting things coming up, but I was wondering how the process was of getting published with Berkeley. Like, how is that process? Did they reach out to you first, or did you reach out to them? I know you've had a publisher before, but like, how exciting was it to be able to work with Berkeley?
Oh my gosh,
it's
like
been
a
so
dream.
surreal. So we actually started with the book Dishonestly Yours that is going to come out, and it's like a new series. We sort of pitched this to publishers, and in that's kind of like where the interest of like them also wanting the Addicted series came in. So it sort of like kind of got bundled together in a way.
Yeah.
And I mean, me and Chris are so appreciative for Berkeley because they picked up all 10 of the Addicted series. And I think that was like ultimately like the biggest
biggest surprise too, because initially like they just did Addicted to You and Ricochet, and we were like, okay, they'll probably do little by little like add on as they go, and then they just kind of committed to all of them at once after those two published, and that was so surprising. And it was really like nice to see them be so, I think, supportive of the series and feel like, you know, it's something that they want.
And that readers want. And I think that readers like supporting the Addicted series is the biggest reason why it has done so well, and why it's gotten this huge opportunity to be in bookstores and to be on shelves, which is like so exciting to go in and like see it there in the wild. And we're both really, really excited for the new series. We finished writing the first one in the book.
Dishonestly Yours.
Dishonestly Yours. And it's probably one of our favorite starts to a series that we've ever written.
Oh yeah. And it's been a while since we've like written something outside of like the whole like Hales, Meadows, Kobolds, like the Addicted series universe in a way, like all those families, because we generally like have stayed within that since Ariel, Ethereal, Circus's family,
because we're addicted.
In terms of like series, I guess, because we did write Love and Other Cursed Things, which is like a standalone new universe as well, but this is the first time we're like tackling like a series that is like a new universe, new set of characters, and it's been so long, and I think that it is, like Becca said, like such a great start to something fresh and new, and it was so much fun to write. And it's just so sad with traditional publishing, like the hardest part is like you write something
and you have to like wait for people to read it. I want everyone to read it like now and be obsessed with it.
It takes so long, like you have to finish something a year in advance basically, and I'm just like, with our indie stuff, we finish it, edit it, and then like weeks, maybe like a couple weeks later it gets published because we're just insane. And that's how we've always been with our indie publishing schedule, and it's almost as like it's a very like addictive release schedule because you're like so excited about something and then immediately get to put it out into the universe, which feels so great as a writer because you're just like, be excited with me, everybody. Here's this new thing. And it's a really hard with Dishonestly Yours because I'm like, I'm so excited. I just want everyone else to be excited with me.
Yeah, I think everyone, even readers of like the entire like Addicted series, and I think everyone's gonna like really enjoy it because there might be like little, you know, Easter eggs.
Ooh, okay.
And like,
that's exciting.
Yeah, and working with Berkeley has been honestly amazing. They've been such a champion of like the Addicted series and like our books. And like I think it's gone.
It's a great home for the whole series.
It really is. So it's been like a really exciting opportunity, and we were like floored. And like Becca said, it was readers really. Like I feel like it was all of the readers over now like almost 10 years. Like
it was
June,
you. I mean,
in June it'll be 10 years, and I attribute just the readers and word of mouth to everyone who spread the word about the series, to how much it has grown and how much it has it has like succeeded and gotten so many opportunities is because of the readers.
Yeah, I get emotional thinking about where it is now, and it's like Lily and Lo are going on their 10-year anniversary this year. So,
and now they're in bookstores.
I know.
Yes, that's like a great homage for them.
Yes.
Perfect homage for them.
I mean, it's like the ultimate like what is it, like Thomas the Train or something, like you can do it, and it's like it took 10 years but you did it, Lily and Lo, you got it, like.
Yes, I like how you mentioned the timeline, because I would have thought that Berkeley picked up the Addicted series first and then they, you know, published something new, just because
it was all grouped together.
Yeah. So with these new editions, you guys have bonus material. I read like a little bit about it, but did you want to share what this bonus material is in case anyone hasn't been able to get themselves a copy of it?
Yes.
And Addicted to You?
Or both of them, actually. I have both of them.
So I particularly love text messages. So we have like done really, really cute text messages in a lot of the book bonus material. And the reason why Addicted to You's text messages are so cool is because, well, this is just like the nerd in me that thinks that they're really cool, is because they follow the storyline within the novel. So it's really like you finish the book, but then you see the bonus and like how these texts play within the actual storyline of the whole book.
No, they're really, really fun. And Addicted to You also has a bonus scene from Lo's POV, which is like really special because you don't get Lo's POV until Addicted for Now. And for the longest time, we said we would never go back and write Lo's POV and Addicted to You because, like, it's so painful.
It's so painful.
And
so angsty.
So angsty. And when Berkeley was like, we want bonus material, you know, for the back of the books, we knew there were certain things that readers have been asking us for years, and we were like, well, this is our opportunity to give them what they've wanted. And we felt like this is our also opportunity to give back to readers in a big way, because it is them who've like allowed these books to succeed, to thrive.
And
oh my God,
I see what you did there. And so we were like, okay, if we're gonna do it, let's do a Lo bonus scene. But we really thought really hard which one we were gonna do, because we didn't want it to affect anybody's reading experience, because, you know, it has been so many years later since we wrote Addicted to You, and it's hard for us to kind of envision how the reading experience would change if a reader had Lo's POV so early. So we really picked something that we felt like wouldn't change the reading experience too much, but would still give you some sort of insight into Lo.
I think for all the bonus scenes, especially when they were like specifically like chapters, we tried to pick things that wouldn't alter the reader's experience too heavily, because it's so special to us, what we wrote when we were 21, 22, and we really don't want to come back 10 years later and completely change what our intentions were when we were that age. And so we were trying to pick scenes where it was more visceral. It was like you're more in the character's head and you're more experiencing what they're experiencing at that moment. And you're not getting so much of like them explaining things, because we don't, I mean, I'm not 21 anymore. I'm not 22 anymore. So it's like, I don't know what I would have written at 22 when we were writing that book. And so I don't want to change it too much.
Yeah, exactly.
But we do know exactly what Lo would be feeling in this moment. And we do know what they would be experiencing. So that's really like what our approach was for all of the bonuses.
Yeah. And Addicted for Now, which is coming out in March, and that in that bonus, in the back of that book, the bonus scene is Connor and Rose's first date, which is like the most highly requested bonus of all time. Like people just want a whole novella of them in high school, and I'm like,
Me.
like I get it. Like honestly, like it's something that I wish we did when we were younger, like when we had been writing them.
Me too. But their first date, we were so nervous to write it because we knew like so many people wanted it, and we were like, okay, how can we do this in a way where it feels like we're, you know, capturing the essence of like that moment in Addicted to You. And we wanted to put it in the back of Addicted for Now and not their book Kiss the Sky, because it sort of like it gets readers more, I don't know, what's the word, Krista? It gets them more excited about
the anticipation.
Yeah, the anticipation for Rose and Connor's POVs, because if you're a first-time reader too, you've never read their POVs and they're the next one. And in large part, the series really is like now the Addicted series, a 10-book series. It's not really like split into the Calloway sisters and the Addicted series. Going forward, we're more so calling it just like the Addicted series that follows Lily, Daisy, and Rose.
Yeah, and I like, and I think that is kind of like a way of us saying, you know, there's no more separation. Like, you know, you can find a Kiss the Sky, a Connor and Rose bonus scene in one of Lily and Rose books, and vice versa, just because, you know, they're all sisters. But it's all it's all the same series.
Through all the fear and pressure of like this scene, when we wrote it, it felt so right and so natural. And when we just like, I just reread it and I was just like, this, it feels like it's always existed, and it's like absolutely the perfect sort of first date that, you know, I can't even imagine anything else. It feels like it's existed for 9+ years. So.
I mean, the great thing too is like we knew what it was like going to be, obviously, because it's mentioned what their first date is. It's just never shown.
Yeah, just have to write around the parameters of like all the things.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a lot of fun, and it honestly makes us want to write more Addicted bonuses. Like even after we write everything for Berkeley, like I'm sure we're gonna keep writing them on our Patreon and stuff, just because it is really fun.
For sure, it's really made me want to write more in the core 6's POV.
Yeah.
That has me so excited. I mean, if you couldn't tell, Connor and Rose are my favorites. But so you guys do have plans to do like all the bonus chapters for the rest of the 10 books?
Yes. So,
ooh, okay.
Yeah, they'll all have bonus material.
Some of them might not have bonus scenes, and they'll have like other fun stuff in the back, like text messages. But they'll all have at least like one new piece of bonus material.
So I recently just finished Misfits Like Us. I finished it last week. And I adored it. Luna and Donnelly are the cutest things ever. I love them. So I was wondering, with Luna being a writer, how much of yourselves did you put into her character?
I definitely think that we put quite a bit in terms of like the pressure that she feels. And there's like the whole thing at the end is really, I think, I don't want to give it away because it's like the biggest like twist plot thing at the end, but it is very relatable in terms of like, you know, the things that you write are very personal, like, I don't know, how would you describe this?
Yeah, you have like personal parts of yourselves in like anything you write.
Yeah.
At least like we do.
Yeah, like little bits of your soul. And I think that for Luna, she grew up writing when she was like really little, and so did we. And so she has these manuscripts that are like not for anyone to see. They just are really vulnerable. And I think that is definitely relatable for us.
Yeah.
There's things that we probably would be self-conscious of ever sharing because we're like, this shouldn't see the light of day. It's like we're fledgling little writers.
Yeah. There's stuff that I wrote like in high school, and like so much of what I wrote was never meant to be like a book or published. It was just writing for fun, a lot like Luna does. And like I can't imagine like having that stuff. Well, I won't say any spoilers, but that's definitely like stuff that's close to your heart, your own personal writing.
Yeah, and I feel like what's also relatable for us, what she goes through is like her doubting herself, like her feeling like, am I even a good writer? Am I good enough? And I think that we go through phases of that all the time, like where we, you know, we don't believe that we're the best writers out there, but we enjoy what we do and we love what we do, and we just hope that other people find happiness and love in what we write too.
Yeah.
And we constantly try to push ourselves and to be as good as we can be, and I feel Luna is constantly trying to do that too, and I feel like that's a little pieces of like our writer spirit in there.
Yeah, for definitely.
So that kind of segues into my next question, which is, how did the two of you get into writing romance? Like, were you a reader before you became writers? Did you always know that you wanted to write together, or did you start like separately?
Oh, this is a fun question. So in terms of just like getting into writing, Becca started writing before me. She wrote in middle school.
Yeah, it was like
middle
12,
school,
12
11,
sixth
12.
grade.
Yeah,
like 12 years old. And a teacher just was like, you know, you can write whatever you want, a story. And like literally that took me off. I just started writing my own things outside of class. And I was like, wow, you can like, because we were readers, we read like Chronicles of Narnia and like, you know, middle grade fiction. And so I was like, you can like create your own stories. This is cool. And my mom eventually got me this chunky compact laptop computer with like floppy disks that I would save like my stories on, and Krista would sit behind me while I was typing, and she would read the stories
in real time,
and she would be like, Becca, you're going way too slow, and I'd be like, oh my gosh. And it was just so much fun to have someone who like read like my stuff and like,
it was
enjoyed
so good. And like I'd have like, if she was so slow, I'd get my like Game Boy out and like start gaming behind her, and then like peek over and like keep reading. And it got to the point where I was like so frustrated. I was like, you are just so slow, you're not getting faster, you're deleting stuff and then rewriting, like what's up with that? So so I was like, I'm just gonna write my own story then. And that's basically how I started writing. And then we would finish chapters and we'd be like, let's switch, and we'd switch, read each other's stuff, and then keep writing.
And I don't think that we were ever like super critical of each other's work. We kind of just enjoyed it, and then we would tell each other like, I need to see more of this character. Like, you have to keep writing this character.
Yeah. And it was never like we're trying to write finish a book and what like have other people read it. It was always just for us.
Yeah. And then as we got older, we were like, well, maybe we could, like, I finished a book and we were like, maybe we could write together. And we tried, and we were like, okay, like maybe we could write together and like get an agent. And most of what we were writing was like all young adult, sci-fi, dystopian, fantasy.
Yeah. And that's
always had romantic elements. There could never not be a romantic element in there.
Yeah, but we never wrote together contemporary romance.
No.
That was not a genre we ever wrote in. We were trying to get an agent in college with a bunch of fantasies, sci-fi, and
always got rejected.
And we were in our senior year of college, and I was applying to med schools, and Becca was doing her thing with telecommunications, TV, and she was like, we realized that this was kind of it. Like, we were going to go our separate ways of completely different career paths. And I wasn't going to have enough time to write anymore, especially not with Becca, if I went to med school.
Yeah.
So we were like, this is our final shot. Like, we either, get an agent or we publish a book. And at this point, getting an agent is such a long shot. It takes so much time. Let's just do the self-publishing thing, because at the time it was really taking off. New adult was this new category. It was a big deal. And I was like, well, if we do this, let's not do it in this fantasy sci-fi genre, because if we want to make it work, we're gonna have to do it in a genre that has success right now, because that's just what we're gonna have to do.
Yeah, which was contemporary romance.
Yeah, so we ended up writing our first contemporary romance together,
which was Addicted to You. And but I mean, all of our books had romance elements.
Yeah,
but this was like our first contemporary novel too. And I honestly think that, like, I love writing in the other genres, but I think that we've grown as writers by writing in contemporary, because it really stripped everything away and like let us focus just on the characters. And I feel like you can still have world building in a contemporary world.
Yeah, exactly, which like feeds that like world building hunger that we have. And that's why like we end up making up so much like fake companies and like all this random stuff, because we're like, I want to world build in my contemporary setting so bad, and that's what we end up doing. But it's so much fun. And I think really that sometimes I'm so grateful that we like kind of took that leap, because I enjoy writing contemporary romance so much, and I feel like it's naturally what we were always meant to do. And I don't regret it a day. I'm like, this was it.
It's kind of awesome that your first book that you ever wrote together ended up being like the book, because a lot of the authors that I've talked to, they're like, yeah, my first book, they'll never see the light of day, you know.
Oh, we definitely had other books.
We wrote other books together, but this was the first contemporary romance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, the other books they're not as good as Addicted.
Yeah, I think that they're good in a different
way. Yeah.
In a different way.
I do go back and reread some of them, and I'm like, this still hits, but like in a 2013 kind of way.
Yeah, I feel that.
Hey, I mean, a lot of trends are coming back, so you never know.
Addicted to You is 2013.
Yeah, that is so true.
So it's possible.
It's timeless.
Yeah, I'm waiting for werewolves to come back.
Please.
We're on my werewolf books, but like my werewolf TV shows.
So when we were growing up, Krista would always read the werewolf books, and I would read the vampire books.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like a team.
You knew
on opposite sides.
Your lanes.
Yeah. Except like I was with the vampires in Twilight. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know anyone who was Team Jacob.
I was Team Jacob, like that tiny snippet in Breaking Dawn when it was his point of view. I love.
Okay.
I honestly wonder now, if I went and reread them, would I like Jacob more?
Yeah, maybe. I heard she's coming out with.
Yeah,
she's thinking about writing more in the series.
Like continuing it on?
Yeah.
The Twilight world?
Yeah, the Twilight world.
I don't know. It's
with
not going to be another Edward. It's not going to be an Edward point of view. I think she doesn't want to do that ever again.
Did you read that one?
I did.
Wait, what is it called?
Midnight Sun.
Midnight Sun. Why does it say Blood Moon? Oh my god.
Fake fans.
Midnight Sun. I do own Midnight Sun, but I haven't read it yet. I feel like I'm scared too, you know what I mean? Because like Twilight was I loved Twilight growing up, like loved it. And so now if I read Midnight Sun, is it gonna like change my perception of Twilight?
I honestly can't remember if I even read Breaking Dawn or if I was so upset by the book beforehand and I didn't read it.
You didn't like Eclipse?
I don't know. I honestly, I think I've blocked this all. Back in the day, I read Twilight so many times, and honestly, right when it came out, I'm such a nerd that in speech class in high school, I did a speech. You're supposed to pick a book and like do a speech over the book, and I picked Twilight. But like it wasn't. No one knew about it.
It was before it came popular. Like I will say this, Becca. So we found the book like the day it released because we went to the bookstore like every day, and I got sucked in by that cover. The cover got me.
Yeah.
It was good marketing. and so like, yeah, we were like, it's a vampire book. And I specifically remember no one knowing about it. And you being like, you're
and I
going to
did
use
a
it for your speech class.
Yeah, because I was obsessed with it. I think I read it like 4 times.
And then what was it, like 6 months later? You're like, oh, you did a speech on Twilight. You're like, oh, you're that girl.
Yeah.
I had a question about settling book plot arguments. Like, do you ever get into arguments about what needs to go into a book? Or are you always on the same wavelength?
No.
And now,
No.
So there's been times where like one of you wanted to include something and then does the other veto it?
Well, I think a lot of times we end up having to like have intense discussions, and it's almost like we have to pitch each other why we believe that this plot is the most in character or the most exciting dynamic, and the other person has to be like, is that realistic? Would this happen? And
it's like that speech class is coming in handy because you have to have a persuasive argument.
We also were in debate together in high school.
Yeah, they made us debate against each other, which
now
I think about, that was
why?
Cruel. Like, why would they do that?
Yeah, that was mean. Why'd they do that?
I don't know.
Twins
but
facing against each other.
Honestly, we weren't mad though because like
we got to prep because we lived together.
Yeah,
we literally got to
you're
prep
not
the
supposed
entire
to
debate.
Yeah, it was basically like staged because like we knew exactly what each other was going to say, and then we like had the debate points already laid out. Like
it was basically acting class.
Like joke was on them. Like like,
you had the perfect rebuttal for each thing.
Yeah. And then we made it so like neither of us lost. Like it was like, you know,
oh my God.
It sounded like both of us won. I remember that.
Game system.
But yeah, so when we get into fights, they're usually sometimes very heated, but like Becca said, we kind of have to like
passionate.
They're passionate.
I think that we just
passionate.
like sometimes we'll both strongly believe in the side, and it will take maybe like a full week to like really be like, okay, you're right. I agree with your, you know, what you have laid down. I mean, sometimes it's even like how the book's going to end. So we don't have to like come to the resolution until later.
And then sometimes we end up writing one way, like someone will be concede. It'll be like, okay, well, you write it and then we'll see if you're right. And then you'll write it and you'll be like, this was so wrong. I'm so sorry. Like you were right the whole time. This is garbage.
I've won my point of view, my thing before. And then Krista's had to like write it out and it did not work. And I had to be like, I'm so sorry that I made you write that.
I was like, I knew this wasn't going to work, but I had to write it anyway just to make my point.
Yeah. But yeah, usually it does come down to like writing and like being like whether something feels right, it just like will naturally like feel right.
And usually when we have disagreements, it's a good thing because we end up having to rework something or figure out why one of us is like feeling off about it.
Yeah.
And it's great because, you know, a reader might not like it either or feel the same way as one of us. And we're like, well, we need to kind of figure out a different way to work it or just dig deeper because like something is wrong.
Yeah. We usually get to the heart of like what we're trying to figure out, and and the compromise is always better because I have certain things that I like. Krista has certain things that she likes, but we're trying to find things that, you know, balance both of us. And I think that ultimately helps because it appeals to like more readers too.
Yeah. I get good at persuading, pitching.
Yeah. She does.
For the things that you end up cutting out or deleting, do you ever save them as a deleted scene or a bonus scene?
Yeah, I usually have a document that says like deleted stuff, but a lot of it is like unusable because it's like the story has changed, so it can't be like used as a deleted
or
scene.
Some things are like, I have a lot of things that I delete and I almost and I paste it into a document and I call it like scraps because that's what it feels like. It's like bits and pieces of just random stuff.
Sometimes I'll take out lines out of the things that we delete, and then I'm like, I still like this line, but it can just go elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I love that your books are very character focused, like they're character driven, and you don't always necessarily play into, you know, book tropes, romance tropes, but I am curious, like, what's been your favorite trope to write so far? You have a bunch of them just because you've written so many books, like friends to lovers, rivals to lovers, a whole bunch of bodyguards. So, which has been your favorite to write so far?
Obviously, I love the bodyguard trope. But I think that for both of us, we both really, really love childhood friends to lovers.
Yeah, I think that's like my favorite of all time.
Yeah. I feel like you can go do so much with childhood friends lovers. Like you can even have like a love-hate thing going on with it. Like for me, like at its core, it's just so pure.
Yeah, and I think that meet cutes are cute, but I tend to just like the history behind childhood friends to lovers more. Like there's so much meat there in the history of like how they were together, how they grew up and everything. Whereas like if you have, I love rivals to lovers as well, but because the meet cutes are usually like great.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like a different dynamic. Instead of like history you're playing with, you have to like catch the characters up to speed with each other because they don't know each other. And I just like the meat of the history.
I mean, even Rose and Connor have sort of like the high school, they knew each other in prep school. So
yeah,
they sort of like have that. And I feel like that those flashbacks and sort of like the prologue in Kiss the Sky is like one of my all-time favorite prologues that we've ever written. So yeah, we'll always go back and read it and we're like, did we write that? Like
I didn't write that.
Because we just love it so much. I mean, Connor Cobalt impresses me to this day. I'm like, I think you wrote yourself, sir.
Yeah. I think we benefited a lot from writing those books so close to when we were in college. Because like when you're in college, you're just consuming so much information. Like you're learning all the time. And I just feel like to be able to put so much knowledge in them was so easy because like we had just been in that situation almost.
Yeah, that is so true. Yes.
I mean, I'm the same way. I like my favorite trope is second chance romance. So I do love when characters have history together. But Friends to Lovers is my second favorite. I do love it too. I discovered you guys a long time ago. It was actually through a book tour for Addicted for Now. And I think that was back when the cover was still the original cover with that guy and the bandana.
Yes, that was so long ago. Yes.
Do you guys still have like those original covers of your books? I know they've changed a whole bunch of times, but do you guys have them?
Yeah, we still have those.
We made sure to keep like a couple copies of every edition. So we have like even the very first, like a lot of people don't know the very first edition of Addicted to You was actually like a girl in a car. And it lasted like a month.
Yeah, we were
like it didn't last long because we realized it was just like not on brand with the genre,
not on trend. Yeah,
on brand.
Oh yeah,
one of those. But we even have that one, which is really, really hard to find. But yeah, usually we just keep updating them to keep with the times. And we got really lucky that we updated the Addicted series before the
book talk.
Yeah, before the trend.
Cover.
Yeah, which was like super lucky because I felt like we were taking a really big risk when we updated them and took the people off of them because there weren't that many covers out there with just objects. And we're like, okay, we're going with objects. We're doing something different. And and it was like the first time that we hit something like had good timing.
Yeah, and Krista did such a pretty job on all of them.
Oh, thank you.
I'm constantly in awe of her skills.
No, I've gotten better for sure.
Design skills.
That's what happens.
Yeah,
when you have like.
Well, I think it's cute that you can like see your progress too.
Yeah, it is. I like that.
I like that you guys are both like ahead of the trends. First Twilight, and now with these discreet covers.
This
does not happen that
Okay, we gotta pat ourselves on the back when it does, because like it'll never happen again.
Usually we're falling behind. We're like,
Oh
little
yeah, we're like
tortoises.
catching up. We're like, oh wait, what? We missed something.
Yeah. What's going on? We just emerged from our cave.
Yeah. For sure. And it took us so long to actually update the Calloway Sisters series because we were trying so hard to figure out what we wanted to do for them and like if we wanted them to match the Addicted series, and we ended up going with something that matched.
At first we were like, oh, we'll have like color covers, but like we just like kept going back to the white. We've always loved white book covers. Even when we were younger and we would go to the bookstore almost every single day, we constantly would be like, oh my god, the white ones stand out.
It would be like, this fine. I see all the white ones because there's not that many, and we would read the ones with the white spines. I don't know. I think because during that time Twilight was like, you know, the black book cover. And I feel like everyone kind of developed
the trend. Must have been dark covers at that time when we were growing up.
Like the gray.
So it would like when there was a white one, it must have just like popped out because it stood among the black spines.
Well, I would love to know, what's your favorite nickname out of all the ones that the guys give their girls?
This is gonna be I feel like Love by Love because it's like was the like first one, but like also because like I just feel like it's I don't know. I have sentimental.
That one is really really cute. I also, I mean, I love so hard.
I love Pharaoh calling Max Moth Wolf Scout too.
Wolf Scout is really good.
That I mean, obviously, really unique.
Obviously, Darling is like. Really cute. It is. Like, it's hard because I feel like Love, Darling, Sweetheart, like of the Addicted series, like I feel like that's just like the bow. It's like the trifecta. Like it's hard to pick from them. That's how I feel about like it's like when people ask us to choose, it's like we always go back to that series just because it is like it is our hearts because it is the first thing for us. It's hard to get past.
My thing is when I always try to pick a favorite, I say one and then immediately I'm like, I can't leave the others out. It's like I gotta like bring them into the circle.
It's like I can't choose a favorite because then that one's so lonely over there.
Well, speaking of the core six, which of the Addicted series characters, like as parents, do you love writing the most in the Leica series?
Ooh, this is so hard because I feel like it's so different. I feel like we've been able to write more with Lily and Lo as parents because a lot of their issues have affected their kids, not necessarily like for the worse. It's just like brought like a lot of conversations up with their children. So it's like more, I feel like their storyline, they're more involved in the storylines.
I mean, I think that the question of like, you know, what would a child of like a recovering, you know, like sex addict and alcoholic like be like is like a question that's like very interesting to us. And I felt like
and they're in the spotlight being asked these things too. So it's like definitely things on the kids' minds as well because they're questions that are constantly being brought up to them. But
it's hard because it's like Connor and Rose are Connor and Rose and they built their empire, but there is, I feel like right now it's harder to write them as parents because they have so many kids and we haven't gotten to a lot of their kids yet. And it's almost like we're holding ourselves back because the more we do write with certain parents, the more we have to remember when we get to certain children's books.
Well, I would say it has been easier to write the core six as parents in bonus scenes because it's not taking away from like the kids' romances. And the kids are adults now, but I just call them kids because they're their kids. But yeah, so they've definitely been easier to write in bonus scenes and taken more like of the spotlight. I absolutely love Reich and Daisy's storyline in Sully's books, and they're so much fun to write. The hardest part is like giving them crazy pain. It like gives me pain because they've been through so much. So it's like, how much do we really like, you know, don't like torturing the core six that much anymore in their older age. I feel like they deserve
happiness and peace and just like tranquility at this point.
But without spoiling the ending of Some Kind of Perfect, like the reason why it ends the way that it does is because we knew that no matter what books we write between the Addicted series and the future, that ending of like Some Kind of Perfect is like what the core six will always end like, no matter what spinoffs or whatever is in the middle.
Exactly.
So you always have that feeling in your heart. That's what, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling all the feels. So the Addicted series we know is your most popular one, but do you have a particular book or series that you think is a little underrated or you would love people to read more of from your backlist?
I think that the Circus's Family series is probably our most underrated series. And the titles, it was A More, but now it's called The Failed Audition. We keep trying to like find ways to get more readers to pick it up because it is that book and what was called Infini, but now it's The Secret Ex-Boyfriend. For the large part, it has like a lot of readers that absolutely adore it, and there's just like not a lot of people who have read it.
I feel like the ones who've read it have loved it. And I think that it's just really, those two books are so difficult to find readership for. Like finding the readers for the book is very, very hard. We had to kill our darlings a lot with it because we love the titles More and Infini. We love the original covers so much. It took us so long to change those things, but in order to find
that was my favorite cover. That was my favorite cover.
It is so pretty.
And it's still to this day like probably one of my all-time favorite covers. But the problem is that in terms of finding readership for it has turned into like you have to like use advertising and like do all these things that more than just word of mouth. And for the life of me, I could not get the ads to work with A More and Infini because those are not English words. And I think that a lot of readers just thought they were foreign editions when they're like the English editions. And so we had to change the titles, unfortunately. It was just something that in order to give them a leg up to find readers for them, that's just like something we had to do. And it was so hard. We are gonna update their covers again. Right now they have couple covers and we're gonna try to do some object covers for them. Just to kind of give them another try.
I know some people think that like the circus is like, you know, niche. It's like carnival aspect, but this is like really like Vegas Cirque du Soleil. So it really is about like basically working like professionals in Vegas.
Yeah, it's basically like the service industry of Vegas and also like art. Like there's some like dealers in Vegas as well. We love Vegas and we're obsessed with Cirque du Soleil. We've been obsessed with it since high school.
Yeah, which is why we love Vegas because every time we go, we like try to see.
It took us so long to even see Cirque du Soleil, but we watched documentaries on it like back in the day, and we were like enthralled with like this acrobatic lifestyle and. It was only natural for us to write a romance about it.
Just imagining like, oh, what do these performers do? Like, you know, and we would watch the DVDs and the behind the scenes clips, a day in the life. And what's cool now is back then Cirque du Soleil didn't really have videos that you could see beyond like buying the DVD collections. A lot of it was like you couldn't even film during their performances. Like they didn't show very much, but in like the whole technological age now with social media, especially like TikTok, they show a lot more about like performers, which is so
even
cool.
on YouTube they have like mini series and stuff. Like it's great.
So that's basically like the underrated series.
And
if it makes you feel better, I did get a couple people asking if you guys are gonna write more in the series because it's their favorite one from you.
I love that because I think that readers who do read it and
love it
do love it.
It's really good. I love it.
We do really hope to continue it. That is like on our list. We have thought very hard about it,
and I do think that continuing it might find more readers for it as well, just because I think that series 3 or 4 books before readers tend to like pick up series. They're a lot like Netflix. It's like a lot of people like don't trust like only like a couple because they're like
episodes.
No, like a couple seasons. They're
really?
like they wait. For Netflix now because Netflix cancels so much stuff. They're like wait until like, you know, you've got a couple seasons or 2 or 3 out there. And I feel like readers are sometimes like that too.
The Addicted series did not get popular until Addicted for Now came out, which is
was how I discovered you guys.
Which is why we're really excited. Addicted for Now re-releasing in print in March with Berkeley, because I feel like that's the book that's sort of like the catalyst where you like sort of get, oh, this is what this series is about, like that, like you sort of understand like the trajectory, and then you're gonna get like Rose and Connor, and I think it just all sort of like makes sense at that point.
It is hard because a lot of people are like, wait until book 3, that's when it gets good. And I'm just like, there are probably so many readers out there, like there's not enough, there's so much content out here, I'm gonna go read something that's good at book 1.
The series, I think when people say it gets good at book 3, I think that every single book is like really good, but the 3rd book it just like clicks, like, you know.
I do agree with that because that's when you get Lo's POV.
So, like, you get Lo's POV, and all of the characters are so intertwined at that point.
That is true. It's like that's when it becomes very ensemble.
That's my theory.
That's a good theory.
Okay, I have a fun question about the bodyguards. Out of all the bodyguards in the Leica series, who would you choose to hire as your own personal bodyguard?
That's a really good question.
So like, you know, I feel like I've answered this before, and maybe my answer was different. Sometimes I'm like Akara, because I think Akara would like kind of be my friend, and I think it would be like really fun to like have him like, you know, he's a great bodyguard and he's like the boss, but he's also like cool. Like he doesn't make you feel like awkward, like, you know, because him and Sully are, you know, they just, but I'm not like athletic. Like I don't know if like would Akara still like me. I'm not Sully. I don't know.
Are you like shipping yourself with this bodyguard, or are they just protecting you? What's
if a bodyguard's gonna fall? Okay, who's gonna protect me the best?
Like there's like some criteria to this. Are you finding a bodyguard boyfriend, or are you just having a bodyguard?
I thought that was implied.
Okay, you can have both. Honestly, why not?
You can do whatever you want.
I mean, I want them to be my friend. So
your friend.
Okay, like obviously Chris is gonna pick Thatcher because she wants someone to be so professional. Well, yeah, I don't know how. I honestly, if Thatcher was my bodyguard, I think I would like have like start like I don't know. He would make me feel uncomfortable because I think I would think he was so cute, and then like, but he also wouldn't like show emotion. Like I wouldn't know
But
what he was thinking.
he's like one of those like royal bodyguards, whatever they're called, that stand at like
Yeah,
Buckingham Palace,
but-
and then you can just like mess with him, trying to like make him smile. Like you could
He's
have
too
loads of fun.
intimidating, Krista, for me. Like I think I would be I have a lot of awkward moments in my life, and I don't want Thatcher to see them because he'll make me feel more awkward.
Thatcher is
can't-
definitely my
like
choice.
Jane pushes through her embarrassment. She just like bulldozes through it. She's so good about it. I'm like more like solely where no, I let it roast me
Which
alive.
is why you chose a car.
Exactly.
It's meant to be. If you could have any skill that any of your characters have, like Sully's swimming skills or art, tattooing like Donnelly, who would you pick? Like, what skill would you pick?
I already know.
You already
Is
know.
this a skill? I would want to be like a polyglot. Like Charlie.
like Charlie know all the languages.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. I think I would take Jack and Oscar's singing ability because I can't sing at all. I can't carry a note. I'm always so jealous of the people who have great voices, and I'm like, I definitely would be that annoying person who would just bust out. I would sing Happy Birthday really eloquently. I think that everyone who can do that, you should do it, because when you can't sing and carry a note, it sucks.
So I know you guys probably have a ton of books to be written, but would you ever try writing like an adult paranormal or fantasy romance?
Yes.
I know you've written.
Yes,
Okay.
100%.
Yay!
We've already started, and I mean,
Yeah, we already started a
fantasy romance.
Yeah.
And it's like something that we have written before as a young adult novel. So we have sort of like redone
Updated
it
it.
and like completely redone the world. So we really do hope to write to have that done at some point in our lifetime.
Yeah, the hard thing with fantasy is I just feel like it takes so much longer to write than a contemporary. There's just so much more elements that you have to like weave in, and it just takes so much longer, and right now I'm just finding time to write everything else.
Yeah, we have so many. Yeah, we have a lot of different projects. So it's kind of like our side project when we feel like, okay, we want to take a breath from contemporary and we'll go and work on it.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd be really good at it. I know you have your sci-fi, your YA sci-fi series, but like you grew up on non-contemporary, so I feel like you bring something special to it.
Oh, thank you.
Do you guys have any plans to be in any book boxes, like doing any special editions?
We've been approached by a few, but it's difficult now because of the Berkeley editions, because our print editions are like tied up with them. But we definitely love to work with book boxes in the future. I think special editions are so pretty. Like, I'm obsessed.
Krista gets so many.
No, shh.
Really?
I love it.
Secret, Becca.
I love it because all of a sudden she's like opening one, and I'm like, that is like the prettiest book I've ever seen. Like the edges
I
are
had
like
frayed edges.
Yes.
I had to cancel a couple subscriptions because I felt like I was taking it too far. Like, I have so many books on my TBR list. Like, I need to just relax. Right now, all I have is a Lumicrate, so that's it. That's all I'm allowing myself.
Yeah, I know. I've recently gone into like special editions and book boxes, and it's terrible for my wallet, but they're just too pretty.
They're
pretty.
so pretty. It's so hard.
And they're like hardcovers, and I'm obsessed with hardcovers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you guys ever do a book box, I'm definitely buying that.
Oh yeah, we'll let you know.
Yes. What are you currently working on? I know you guys said you just finished Dishonestly Yours.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's going to be a 3-book series, but we are currently working on Unlucky Like Us.
Yes, which is Luna and Donnelly's next book in the Like Us series.
Yes.
Which is fun.
Yeah. Yes. We've planned this book for so long. Like
so long.
We really planned out their books to be like sort of like a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
They're very connected, and yeah, I'm very excited for everyone to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be really exciting.
I'm excited. Do you guys have a a release date planned, or is it still up in the air?
So right now we have sort of spring 2023, but we are taking into account promotion, and plus we have the Addicted series, like
The Prince.
Addicted for Now, Kiss the Sky, Hot House Flower, releasing like very close, like this spring, summer. So we are trying to like figure out the best place for it.
Mm-hmm.
And we do want to like reveal the cover and have like time to
there's
promote
a lot to juggle too, because this is the first time we're doing traditional publishing since the Raging ones back in like 2016 2017, I think it was. And it's just like with traditional publishing, there's a lot that you don't know and kind of just have to be like ready for.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is like edits just like come at you. You like don't know when you're getting them.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of leaving the release date up in the air until we get like some more concrete evidence of like what else is going on in the realm, so we can kind of pick what works.
Yeah. And until we're much further through the book, I think leaving it more ambiguous this time around is helpful to us.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what you have planned after the Like Us series, like after Luna and Donnelly and after the Dishonestly Yours series? Do you already know like what you're planning to write or anything?
Yeah, we do have ideas. We definitely want to continue with the Hales, Meadows, and Cobalts, but it will likely be in a new starting point. Since like a series is very long, so it's going to be like a brand new entry point for readers. And yeah, that's definitely on the table.
It's hard because we haven't like confirmed anything, like made an announcement yet, but I think people can kind of guess what'll be next if we're staying in that universe.
All right. I know you're trying to like keep it down low.
Like and don't spoil anything.
Our whole goal was that like we don't want to announce too many things in advance, because I feel like last time we announced like 5 things and it took years for them to come out. So we're like, we're gonna like, let like all the books that we have lined up publish, and then hopefully like we'll be further through this mystery book, and then it'll feel like there was no wait at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So going back to Dishonestly Yours, is there like, do you have a blurb for it? Can you describe what it's about and what can we look forward to?
We actually don't have a blurb for it yet.
We need to come up with a really good elevator pitch for it. But it's basically about 2 families of con artists, and the Phoebe, the main girl, she decides to start afresh with her best friend and stop conning, stop lying to make money. And they go to this new small town, and her best friend's older brother basically follows them there to make sure that they don't get into trouble, and he believes that this new fresh start will not work.
He's like, what are you guys doing? Like, conning is our life. Like, he's like, you can't stop lying. Like, what do you mean? And he's like, this is the worst idea I've ever heard, but I will bail you out if you guys get into any trouble, because that's just, he's the big brother.
We say it has like a lot of like classic WB show vibes, like, the small town setting of like Gilmore Girls, One Tree Hill, like things that we've always loved, but added into the fact that they are trying to sort of like infiltrate, like they've always in their lives infiltrated high society, but now Phoebe in this new life, she has to be not part of high society. So
now she's like the working class girl. And
but he is still infiltrating high society.
And it's just like he's threatening everything, because he's still a con artist and she's trying to live her life honestly, and his mere presence just in the town where she needs to be honest is making things very difficult for her. And it's a very fun angsty romance. And I think that it's kind of pitched as like an Outer Banks vibes. So yeah.
I'm so excited about it. Like when we were writing this, we finished it and I immediately wanted to reread the entire thing again.
Yeah.
So I was obsessed with it, and I'm still like, I can't wait to continue the sequels and stuff.
Yeah, me too. Like it's gonna be so much fun, and I'm gonna be just so excited when other people can.
I know.
This is torturous.
Yeah.
I mean, I already love the fact that it's like con artist stuff.
Yeah, I when we were doing it, we were like, okay, this was a concept we had when we were younger in like high school. We wrote a book about 2 con artist families, but it was young adult, so we were like, let's age it up, and we basically just took that concept. But it's so much fun to write because there's so many things you can do with it, and it feels like a lot different than any of the other books we've written because it has like that element.
Yeah, it's like another way for us to write like world building in a contemporary setting. Like it's
and push the limits. Like you can push the limits a lot more because they're essentially like not good people.
Morally gray, which is like
gray.
the greatest. I love morally gray characters. This book has that to a T.
And then it has the family aspect that we really, really love.
So it is going to be a best friend's brother romance.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm so excited. I'm going to be stalking my email from Berkeley, like whenever ARCs go out.
Oh, yes.
Now we can get into some questions that I got from like the audience, the public. I asked them ahead of time if they had any questions that they want you to answer. And a lot of people, like the one question that a lot of people asked was when they wanted to know when they could see you at book signings. Like the people love you and they want to see you.
So sweet.
Oh, wow. Well, we have 4 book signings actually
lined up.
2 are this year. And then I was like, what year is it? And then 2 are next year. So the ones this year will be at Book Bonanza in June in Texas.
And it'll be our first time at Book Bonanza. So like I'm excited but also freaked out. I'm so nervous. Like I know that's
like the creme de la creme.
Yeah, I know that's like a massive signing. So very nervous but super excited. And then in October this year, we'll be at Love in Vegas, and we've been to Love in Vegas before.
And it's really, really fun. We've loved it.
So we're super pumped for that. And then next year
we'll be in South Carolina
in March
at Charleston
at the Sweetgrass author event. And then at the end of the year in October of 2024, we'll be at the Authors in the Bluegrass in Kentucky. Lexington, yeah. Which that one has been like on our bucket list for forever because it takes place in like the University of Kentucky Stadium, and like for some reason that just sounds like so much fun. I'm like, I am there.
Well, and our dad went to college there for 2 years. So
like, oh, gotta go. And like we love East Coast signings because we're on the East Coast, so they're just easier to get to. But we tend to always have West Coast signings, book West Coast signings, but we love those too. I mean, I love all signings, to be honest.
Yeah, they're so much fun. I wish that we could do like more a year, but the problem is that like I feel like leading up to it, we get so frazzled, and I'm like, okay, like this can't take away from our writing time, Krista.
Yeah, I'm like such a type A. Like I make sure we have like everything. I have a list, like, and it's just I feel like so much goes into organizing for it.
Also, I would be lost without Krista because she's like my Rose Calloway and keeping me very organized because I would just go in with a bag of pens. I would be like, I don't know what
I mean, maybe sometimes I'm like, maybe we should just do that. We'd be able to do more signings if we just show up with a bag of pens, honestly.
Probably. No, Krista, we have color coordinated pens for certain books, and Krista knows it all. I have to constantly, like, I'm like, Krista, is this the right pen? Is this the right thing?
Some people do have our signatures. Like one will be in like black, and then you'll have like Becca's in like purple, and we'll be like, "I'm so sorry, it's a unicorn book," because that usually doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
I will be seeing you both this year, actually. Those are the Book Bonanza and Love in Vegas are my two signings this year.
Oh my gosh, awesome. Oh, you chose the same ones. Great minds
Yes.
think alike.
Yes. And I'm thankful that you guys go to West Coast stuff because I'm in California.
Yeah.
And it feels like not a lot of book signings happen on the West Coast as much.
I think our second signing ever was in Anaheim.
Yeah, Anaheim. Yeah,
Oh.
we do like to go out to the West Coast because our brother lives in LA.
Yeah.
So like it's a good chance for us sometimes to be able to like go see him and visit. So we try to get some West Coast stuff done.
Would you ever do international ones? Because I had some requests for like, when are the girls coming to Brazil? Are they going to London or the UK anytime?
So we've been to Manchester, and last year we went to Rare Paris. The problem is those are like kind of more expensive for us, and they take a lot more planning. So I feel like when we do, we always are like, we'll just do one. We can just like fit it in there. But then it seems like such a big thing.
Yeah.
So it is a lot harder for us. Like, I think that if we do another international one, we definitely have to do a lot of planning.
A lot of planning, a lot of like figuring out how to like get the book shipped over there. It's like another extra step that's definitely a little bit more difficult. But I love international readers, and I feel like, you know, if one comes up and the timing is right, we'll definitely like get on it for sure.
Plane flights have gone up so much.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like a 1 hour flight almost being like $500. I'm like, what the heck?
We used to go see our brother so much in LA, and it was like 400. You could get a ticket for 400 sometimes if you were lucky, like in the high 300s to get out to LA from Atlanta.
Now it's almost $1,000.
It's
oh my God,
so expensive.
Yeah.
We're like to our brother, you're coming to us, right?
Another question here. Will the new Addicted series be on Audible with the new content?
I don't think so. So the audiobooks are such a tricky thing because like we want them to update even the covers. Like I'd like them to update the covers more than even get the bonus in the back. But the problem is that the audio deals were done with our very first agent, and that agent like kind of left the agency that it was with, and it's very difficult to like get them to do anything for us and to communicate with them that like, hey, we nudged them, we're like, hey, can you get them to update these covers?
We were like, we think they'll do better if you change the covers.
And like they're just like, yeah, we'll try. And
that was it.
That was it. So yeah, it's very, very
maybe we
unlucky.
should try again. We should be more aggressive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe it's us.
Yeah, maybe we just do. Let's put on our business.
You can say like you're with a publisher now, you're with Berkeley, they can go after you.
Yeah, we're like, do you see?
Yeah, we should give it another college try.
Yeah, we should. We'll give it another try, but I think that we'll try with the covers first. I think getting the bonus in there might be
a long shot.
A very, very long shot.
But I would like the covers updated.
So I know you kind of answered this next question, but someone did ask, what are your plans for Beckett, Leo, and Joe? Like, what are your plans for the kobolds and other kids?
Yeah, so Beckett, Leo, and Joe, we haven't decided on Beckett's like final romance. We know definitely he's gonna have a romance with Joe.
It definitely has to be written out in order for it to be a poly romance, because this is something where we constantly disagree about, and like we have to write it out in order to figure out, okay, what's like the best.
And it's hard because I think at certain times we're like pumped on one thing and then pumped on another,
and then we're split.
Yeah. And I think that we won't know how we're gonna feel until like we sit down and write his book. And it's hard to like make such a big commitment to readers before we do write it.
Yeah.
And I know like there's a lot of opinions about what people want, and someone's gonna be disappointed no matter what.
That's always the hard part.
Yeah, especially since all of these like couples and the pairings are announced so far in advance. And it's hard with when we are considering writing like a poly romance, but we'll just, it's like a wait and see type of thing.
Yeah, definitely have to write it.
Yeah.
And then someone messaged me, what is your favorite color? And do you have any favorite pastries?
Oh, so my favorite color is yellow and Krista's is
red.
And the funny thing is that we joke that it's like ketchup and mustard, and Krista hates mustard and I don't really like ketchup and I like mustard. And I was like,
yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Yeah,
maybe it's just like psychological, like because I know you're yellow. And it's like I can't like yellow, you're yellow.
Yeah, maybe. And then what was the second question? What's
favorite
our favorite
pastries?
Like
probably
a brownie. Is that
what's
considered a pastry?
That's what I was gonna ask.
100%
what's considered
a brownie.
Pastry? I thought pastries
I
are
think
like
that would fit.
What
croissant.
I mean, is a cookie considered a pastry?
Is it? I thought. Like I thought, like a Danish, a muffin, a scone. A scone. I don't like it. I mean, I none of those
like
to me sound like my favorites.
Like if you,
I guess favorite dessert. Like
okay, favorite dessert. Absolutely a cookie. Like a cookies are
for me it's like a brownie and then the cookie.
Oh, cookies. If you give me a cake or like cookie, I'm gonna choose the cookie.
We're so obsessed with cookies because our dad used to like come home really late from work every night and he used to always bring us cookies. So now we always have to eat a cookie at night. And
it's an addiction. And then we also have like right after dinner, we always have like a coffee, or Becca used to. She doesn't drink as much coffee anymore, but we call it coffee and cookie.
Yeah.
Coffee and cookie time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute. Oh, and also, do you guys ever use journals?
Yeah, I mean, journal for life or journal for like book tracking or just like in general?
Anything, I guess.
I've always kept a journal throughout my whole life. I have like different ones. Like when I was little, I have like one that's like a frog, and I've just upped every sort of like era of my life. I've upped it, but like the older I get, I sort of almost like every 6 months I fill in myself.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like don't journal at all, except I have this online, like on Word. I kept this document called You'll Never Read This Again, and it's only like connected to one flash drive that I like only plug in like every 5 years. And
you read just that one journal entry?
And then I see that document that says You'll Never Read This Again, and I'm like, what is that? And I click in and I realize it's the journal, and it only has updates like every 5 years, and then I make sure to update it again. And
oh my God, that's crazy.
It is nuts. And like I go in and I'm like, and it's like it's crazy because there's such different parts of my life. Like one like where I thought I was gonna be a doctor, and then the other where I decided like not to go to medical school, and then the next where we like published a book, and then the next like 5 years after that. It's wild.
Yeah, that is wild.
But that's my only journal.
Oh, is it 5 years yet? No, because you still recall it. You're never gonna forget it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been 5 years
she's
yet.
never gonna forget it now that she said it on this podcast. She's always that was the last time your journal entry ends there. You're never gonna update it again.
I think the last time I updated it, we were still writing the Addicted series. So it's
10 years ago.
No, well, the last book in the Addicted series was Some Kind of Perfect.
Yeah.
So I think it's been like 5 years. Like I should honestly go update it.
Yeah, it's time, Krista.
It's time. Maybe this was a sign.
Someone also wanted to know when the illustrated versions of the Leica series would be available in the signed bookstore.
Okay, so we're getting bookmarks and stickers for them because we always send out our signed books with bookmarks and stickers, and they should be in the store soon because we're getting all of that together. So we're hoping like next month the first few will be up in there.
Like Damaged Like Us, Lovers Like Us, Alphas Like Us, because we have our inventory now.
Yes,
we're just getting the swag ready.
The swag ready for it. Yeah.
This next question is sort of like an answer the blank. So you can answer the end of the sentence as either yourself or one of your characters. When in doubt, blank. And I was like, when in doubt, eat a taco. Like
that's what I was about to say. When in doubt, eat cake. Daisy, cake fixes everything.
I literally like the first thing I said because I said when in doubt, read a book.
Oh, that's good.
If you could style an outfit for Luna or Charlie that isn't their typical style, what would it be?
Ooh, making Charlie wear Tom's clothes would be interesting to me.
That would be really interesting.
Like him raiding Tom's closet, which Tom is like grunge. In the grunge family.
Yeah. I like that idea.
And then Luna being more like, well, she has tried to be like more.
Yeah. I feel like Luna trying on Jane style would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting.
Luna trying to make Jane style her own would be fun to see.
Yeah, that would be cute actually.
Like Luna raiding Jane's closet for like cute pieces for herself.
Yeah, I like that.
And then one last question. I know we've been at this for a little while. What are you looking forward to the most this year? It could be like a book release or for your own or someone else's or a signing, maybe not even book related.
Well, I'm getting married this year.
Oh my God.
I was going to say, I'm looking forward to your wedding.
Congratulations.
So that's probably like the
answer.
One, yeah. But book related, I think I really am, outside of the Addicted series, really excited for Luna and Donnelly's books because it really feels like the Leica series. So many years we've been working on it. This is like sort of the culmination of the whole series. So.
I think I'm really excited for the Berkeley editions of like Kiss the Sky and Hot House Flower because I feel like Lily and Lo have had their like shine in the spotlight, like Addicted to You being out in the world and like new readers discovering them. And like I'm really excited for like Connor and Rose and Reich and Daisy to have that moment too. Yeah. And I feel like it's like really special. So I'm excited to see them in bookstores and like get their
especially Kiss the Sky and Hot House Flower because it's like a new vibe. And Hot House Flower is still like one of my favorite books we've written.
Yeah,
I love that book.
That book's great.
Yeah, I love Reich.
Well, I cannot wait for that bonus scene of Rose and Connor's first date.
Yes,
that's gonna be very special.
And that's coming soon next month.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited.
All right. Okay, that is it then. Thank you both so much for joining me today. And thanks to everyone who submitted questions on Instagram and Facebook. I will wrap this up with two last things. First, to just remind everyone when your next book releases, like what do people need to pre-order?
Addicted for Now.
Right now, Addicted for Now. It comes out.
On pre-order.
It's on pre-order. Yeah, March 21st. Pre-order. Pre-order is live. And also, if you pre-order from the Meet Cute bookshop, we have links. Do we have links in our Instagram bio?
We have links in our Instagram bio.
Yeah. If you pre-order from them, you get a signed book plate with it. So that's always fun.
Yes.
And then second, where can people find you on social media? Are you just mostly on Patreon or are you active anywhere else?
We are the most active on Patreon, but Instagram is our second home, basically. And then I'm
attempting TikTok.
Krista's attempting TikTok.
Look,
she's doing such a good job. I'm so I love them so much.
It's going. We're trying.
It's going really well. She's doing such a good job.
I don't know. It's fun though. Like I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it, but I am on TikTok right now. We don't know how long it'll be, but join me over there while it lasts.
Is there anything else that you wanted to share just before we end this?
Just thank you so much for having us on here. We've loved talking to you about everything.
Yes,
So
and thank you so much for being such like a longtime reader of our series.
Of course.
That's literally like
it means so much to me and Krista because we know how
Yes.
easily people can like drop off and stuff. So the fact that you've just been around and you're still excited about what we're writing and you just read Misfits like us, it's literally the best feeling.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you. Oh my God, I love you guys. Yeah, so I can't wait to see you at those signings later this year.
Yes. So excited.
All right, so I will link everything, all those pre-orders down in the description below. Thank you, everyone. All right, bye.
Bye.